Nick,
It was ear rubbing of Baby Grogu.
you were off center a little. Look for the ears, Nicholas.
I can't find the nubs.
All right. Well, we'll still use this for something. Nick, you know what you did. You know what you did. Damn, I had that on loop. I'm gonna have to do something a little different. I'll have to add the claps.
Mr.
You calm down. I'm gonna have to add the clapping in later. I lost the audio clip. I'm so sad about that because we had it down, dude. We had, round of applause anyway. Welcome to Nerdentials, your weekly dose of the nerdy essentials covering film, TV, video games, and comic books. I'm your host, Joe Tweeton, and for the 134th time, I am joined by, hopefully based on all the acronyms, synonyms, antonyms, and subtitles I've applied to this individual over the years, you will recognize him in an infamous way as my co-op partner for life and my life partner for co-op. I said it better in a previous episode. Apologies, but guys, welcome my friend, the Nick Thomas. Welcome, sir.
Yeah. Always glad to be here.
Yep, I tried to make it less lofty. I wasn't calling you the Grand Moff Tarkin in this case or anything weird.
I'm starting to feel more human, so yeah.
Not that what I said this time was any less weird, so you'd be forgiven if you thought so.
You are the grand poobah of awkwardness. It's fine.
Thank you, sir. I will take that in high regard. Friends, welcome to the Nerdentials podcast. Now, I have to admit a couple things. Not omit in this case. Sadly, we have omitted things just in the grand scheme of life situations regarding the consistency of the podcast, things like that. If you've been on YouTube, then things have been happening sporadically once a month. If I'm honest, me and Nick have been making episodes infrequently, but still sort of relatively once a month ish, right? At least since the beginning of 2024. So I'm just here to clarify for any super nerds or old nerds, old fans and new fans. If you came into the stream now or before, it might have seemed confusing. And you might have just been like, who are these guys? I liked what they did. Maybe you didn't like it. And then maybe we popped up in your feed later for some algorithmic, unholy reason, according to YouTube. We don't know. We're just saying, I'd like to just set straight the record in this episode. And hoping that going forward that we can maintain some sort of consistency so it's less jarring next time you come across this. Is that fair, Nick? Should we do that just slightly? Maybe clarify a little bit.
Try to, yeah.
Yeah, well, okay. I'm going to try my best, sir. Nick knows I'm at the control panel. Sometimes I'm not always coherently at the control panel, so apologies. But here's the clarification. We're going to make it cut and dry and very simple. 2024 has been us wanting to come back to do the thing we love doing the most, and that's good, dear friends talking about things we are super passionate about. And unironically, it does involve nerdy things like the title suggests. So we don't need to brand change. We don't need to change the title. No, we're still doing what we started out back in 2016. We are talking about pop culture in regards to movies, film, gaming, tabletop or digital, and the comic book form, comic book medium. All these things have captured our childhood, and we love continuing to talk about it. So that's always been the Nerdentials' mission and continues to do so today. Now, this last year and the year and a half before, we took some lengthy breaks, and it wasn't intentional. And I also feel bad. I've listened to a couple podcasts over the years that did the same thing. They like literally disappeared for like a year or two, and I was sad. I enjoyed them every week, and then wouldn't you know? And so this is what kind of sparked my desire to say this at the front of the episode. One of the podcasts I listened to, I'll talk about it later at some point if anyone's curious, but the guy, after literally 2 years of not uploading, boom, brought an episode back, and now he's not trying to burn out and go. He was doing daily, and now he's doing once a week. And like, I applaud that desire. Like, he had things personal in his life that came up, put a pause on everything, and he was making free content like we are here, guys. We're making free content. We don't do this for a living, so this is why it's not maybe the most stable content you've come across. But I was inspired to share with you guys that after taking the breaks that we have, and I think I speak for Nick on this, that in addition to him wanting to stick around with me on this, it's not just a friendship thing, but it's also something we both love doing. We both see excitement in doing, and life circumstances kind of just put a pause on it. So sorry for anyone that was like, what happened to them, man? They've been all over the place lately. Like, God, 2 months ago, an episode, and then nothing. I know. And I'm here to not promise anything other than that we want to come back on some kind of consistency. We're still nailing that down, but we are here to talk pop culture, movies, TV, gaming, occasional comics, and other additional nerdy things. And not to get too into the weeds, but I just wanted to share what's currently live. Currently, right now, I can promise and guarantee anyone tuning in right now will see an update on the podcast feed. Now, if you've only been around for the video here on YouTube, maybe you didn't know this, and I guess the podcasting community who only listens to audio will be surprised after this episode drops that the last missing 5 episodes prior to tonight, which is 134, I know, shame on me because I'm the guy that does it. So was a little lax on the website and the podcasting, but guys, it is right now, I promise you, 100% live. And that's not a pre-promise. Like, I did this like 24 hours ago before getting on here with Nick. I made it live. I'm in the middle of literally trying to get the last 5 episodes actively live. And this episode, when we're done here, this episode will be live across all podcast platforms. The Nerdentials.com website is 100% live. Well, content's a little old and a little rusty, so we're going to have to do some updating regarding reviews and things, but the podcast part is going to be current. You go there right now today, Nerdentials.com, links below the screen. In fact, if I can, I'm going to throw this here right here. Here's a live ticker. There it is. Visit Nerdentials.com to see our latest content. That ticker I'm going to leave on for a little bit. Guys, that is accurate. Nerdentials.com, it's live. I'm very excited to announce that. This is the first time Nick's hearing this. Well, the pause for you was just, you can tell them, yes, it is my first time.
Yeah. First time I've heard of it, yeah.
I know. So, what we're here
and
to
I
do,
actually
guys,
see the scrolling ticker on the bottom of the screen. It's great.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Was it delayed when I started it for you? I don't know.
I don't know
how much you. Oh. Well, guys. Anyway,
I'm oblivious. I was staring into your eyes and I got lost.
Oh God. I know the HP can be overwhelming at times, Nicholas.
Yeah.
I try just as hard to not look at your beard. Okay, just so you know. Okay, this is a really long intro. We're going to try to chop this down a little bit, consolidate right now. But while the sticker's going, guys, that's live. The podcast is live. The audio and the YouTube, everything's current right now. Social medias, we're going to be posting this episode as it drops. So X, previously known as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook are still our most active. As you can see in the bottom corner here, as I try to point, bottom corner there, those are active. We're not streaming tonight on Twitch because we're still trying to finalize some of the live things, but the three main social medias are all active, and we're going to have a fun time tonight. Thank you for joining. It'll be more fun when we start actually doing live, so we're going to definitely shoot for that. But guys, if you want to leave a comment, suggestion on things you'd like to hear us talk about, we'd love to truly include the community in this podcast going down the future. I recommend you hit up the DMs on Twitter /X. Just go to at Nerdentials there. But I do check Instagram and Facebook, and we'll be checking those consistently as long as you guys are hitting us up with ideas, messages, or opinions. Doesn't have to be ideas, guys. We will feed you the content of the latest in pop culture. But if you want to share an opinion, by all means, leave a comment down below on the YouTube channel. Leave a comment down below in the live feed on Twitch in the future, and any of our social media pics. And Nicholas, in traditional fashion, if you don't mind, I'd like to say to all our audience that you'll be able to find all these things in a singular hub. Nicholas, are you familiar with the hub? Guys, one special location known as Nerdentials.com. That's right. Nerdentials.com, and I've already shared everything, so I will not reiterate it. But guys, I'm going to turn that ticker off, and you guys can see it down here in the below Nick. Nick, can you point to that magical corner on your end? Yeah, right there, right below Nick's screen. Nerdentials.com. That'll be up there for the entirety of the episode. So, okay, Nicholas, you can stop pointing. I hope they get it. If they don't, that's on them. We love everyone, but that is on you, friends. Now, if you have seen it and you're ready to move on with us, I think, Nicholas, now's as good of a time to jump into... we don't have any super heavy nerdy news at the moment, so this episode is going to be, at least for gaming, at least for movies and TV, we're going to be reviewing a few things. Guys, look down below in the description to see what we're going to hit. That being said, and Nick, I realize. Let's talk Movie Matters.
Movie Matters.
Guys, welcome to Movie Matters, the only place that movies matter. Although that's not entirely true. If you're passionate about movies, they matter. But it's a fun tagline. Anyway, guys, welcome to Movie Matters. Guys, what we're going to do is we're changing up a little bit of how we're going to tackle on our normal episodes. We're going to start each section, just heads up, with hot takes on what we've been watching lately, right? With a little bit of detail here and there. And then we're going to hit a major film each week that we've both been able to properly assess as nerds. So our first little hot take here, with a little bit of nerd knowledge, I'm going to pass over to Nick. Sir, go ahead. What's the first film we're looking at, my friend?
First film we're looking at today would be Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. The 2024 release. This is the sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong. Entry in the MonsterVerse.
Okay. Yeah, okay, go on. Sorry, a little technical difficulties there.
Yeah, no. This is actually directed by Adam Wingard. I think Adam. Yeah, Adam Wingard. He actually directed the Godzilla vs Kong, so he came back for the sequel.
Nice.
But before then, he was most known for doing indie horror films, like the ABCs of Death, VHS, things like that. He was a horror director before. This movie stars the big hairy man Kong and the big lizard dude Godzilla,
of course,
and a few other big baddies. It also stars Rebecca Hall. She was a scientist from the first one. She came back, and it mostly follows along her. And Brian Tyree Henry. He was the African-American guy that was the conspiracy theorist, computer nerd from the Godzilla vs. Kong. He's also been in a few other things, some voice acting. He was in Bullet Train as Lemon.
Oh yeah, Bullet Train. That's good. That's good.
And a few others. Super Intelligence. He always kind of plays the nerdier guy. But kind of a hot take on this. This follows up. There's a new villain that ends up being too much for Kong, and they gotta join forces and win the day.
Spoilers. Kidding.
You've seen the trailers, and that's what.
No,
yeah, I'm not going to tell you who,
right,
who it is, who done it. I'm not going to tell who done it. Oh well, there he is.
It's in the trailers. It's not spoilers. It's in the trailers.
Yeah.
In the trailers.
But there's a lot of cool things that happen in this. As you can see, Godzilla has a new look. There's reasons for that. Kong has some new hardware. There's reasons for that.
Some hardcore hardware.
This one, they made it less about the human interactions and really doubled down and focused on the creature feature interactions. So it was more Kong, more Godzilla, more of those interactions than you got in the past. Kind of takes it back to the old days of Godzilla and stuff. So I was kind of happy to watch it. This is one of the stronger ones in the new MonsterVerse, I felt. And I really enjoyed it, and it was an adrenaline ride that was fun to watch.
Now, I hate to do this to you, but 7 out of 10. Okay. How does it rank up to previous Kong or Godzilla films? Like, I'm not asking for a full ranking. I just generalizing. Like, is this better, best?
This is one of the stronger ones.
Stronger, okay.
I like the fact that they went into more of the emotional side of the creatures themselves and actually,
you got
to see them in the daily life.
Yeah, with creature features, Hollywood's been focusing, on humanity on a lot of these, and so that's definitely different to take, man.
You look at like
how the creatures are dealing with it.
Dude, like a Godzilla minus one. That's World War II, and you see Godzilla all of, I think, 6 minutes in the entire movie.
That's weird, man. You know what I mean? Like that's
That's where I'd leave it. Yep. I'd definitely say go ahead and watch it. It's good. I watched it in theaters with the kids, and they enjoyed the heck out of it.
I love that. I love when it's a good family film, and especially if your kids are like old enough to like enjoy like extravagant action, and especially monster flicks, dude. Those are all. I feel like those are fun for kids anyway, even if they don't understand like the deeper meanings behind it. Hey, so I think we can leave this one out, but did you want to give a hot take on the second one? We both watched it, so I mean we could give a quick hot take from both of us. As opposed, I don't think there's a lot to dive into the second one, I guess is what I'm saying.
I would agree.
Arthur the King. You want to
Arthur
throw
the
that in
King.
there?
Yeah,
Because
let's go ahead.
I will. Okay, let's hit Arthur the King, friends. All right, Nick, I'll let you lead on this one. It's a Mark Wahlberg starring film. Do you have casting on this? Because I know there's a few familiar faces in here, at least one that in the group he's involved in. Let's get the premise.
We got Marky Mark and the whole Funky Bunch.
Go on. No, you're good. You're good. Go
on. No, the director on this is Simon Kellen Jones. Oh, okay. He directed Family Plan, Diplomat, the TV series on Apple called C.
Sorry.
So yeah. And
go ahead.
He directed a few episodes on The Expanse, which was a big sci-fi series. Yeah.
So what's the premise to this, dude? If you could summarize in a couple sentences, like what is going on here?
This is based on a true story of an avid adventure racer who would go and do the big treks where they would hike, bike, swim, mountain climb, all that good stuff. And this follows Michael Light, who is best known for a career racer that never won a race.
God, yeah. So he's just determined to keep going.
Yeah. This follows his journey through this his supposed last race, where him and the team find a friend along the way. Just happens to be a fuzzy little canine. Mangy mutt.
Yeah, this little guy right here.
Yeah.
That we're looking at right now.
Starring in this is Michael Wahlberg, Simu Liu.
From Marvel 10 Rings. Sorry. Yeah, Simu Liu. He was the lead in the Marvel movie. Sorry, man. Pulling some nerd facts. Trying to, anyway.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
And the 10 Rings? Yeah.
Yeah, Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Yeah, sorry. Nerd card pulled tonight, guys. But yeah, he led Shang-Chi. And the girl, I thought I recognized from a few different places, but I found out she played Melisandre in Game of Thrones.
Which girl?
The chick with the only chick in the four-person team, rather. Sorry. If you could look at her real quick, she got the fro, she got the curls.
Natalie Emanuel.
Girl. Yeah, if I may. She played Melisandre in the early seasons of Game of Thrones. I haven't seen her a whole lot. I thought she was Zazie Beetz, and I apologize because that's in Deadpool. But like, this is a girl that you don't see in a lot of things until now. She's been doing a few other things.
Yeah, she was in the Fast and Furious series.
That's right. The movies there. And Matt should be here for Fast and Furious facts because I'm not caught up on that.
Game of Thrones, like you said.
Yep. Yeah.
She was in Maze Runner.
Okay, that's Maze Runner was a while back, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's been in a bit.
Oh yeah, I wasn't saying that. More of a kind of a B-lister, honestly, though. But like, okay, so you've got your Mark Wahlberg and your 4-man crew trekking over the crazy Amazon.
Yep.
And this sweet pup, somehow befriends him after he gives him a few meatballs, right?
Yep.
And then they, side note, no spoilers, but like of the 435 miles just posted here on the trailer, like 200 miles later, he comes across what he believes is the same mangy mutt, and I think it is the same one. And that's what's the miracle there is like this dog connected with him at the beginning of the race. Somehow he found them 200 miles later. What is going on? And then he gets deeply connected, like emotionally, to seeing this dog stay with him. And I think, I don't know, I guess we're not diving into it, so I don't want to spoil anything. I would leave everyone with this, Nick, and we'll give a rating. It's one of those. Yes, it's a true story. Um, I I don't seek out a lot of true stories. I don't go after them. Nick, if it's not like demeaning to anyone or throwing anyone under the bus, what drew you to check this out? Because this is kind of outside of our norm for what we watch.
Me and my wife were trying to figure out what we wanted to watch in theaters. We went and watched Godzilla, and she wanted to see
Oh,
this.
yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'll make you a deal. We'll rent this. We'll buy this on Vudu, and then we'll go watch the movie in theaters with the boys.
Damn it! That's the only reason I can't see the Godzilla one because you didn't buy it on Vudu. Damn it! Disclosure, fans. Just kidding. It's true, guys. If I buy a movie, we share. We share. It's legal. Anyway, okay, fair enough, man. Sorry. I just had to
But
know. I was like, what
I'm one
drove
of
you to
those
this
people
one?
that actually likes a true story. I actually like the adventure ones, sports movies and stuff like that. I just don't
And
share it with you all the time.
they can end up being good, dude. And like for me, not gonna lie, a few shots into my night and starting this thing in the middle of the night, I was in tears at the end.
Oh,
I'm not
dude,
gonna spoil. I know I'm not gonna spoil anything, but
this
like, hey,
this
I
one
would have
had me
cried.
laughing, had me yelling at the screen, had me crying. No, this one was a tearjerker. This
I would
one
have cried. I would
emotional
have
roller
cried.
coaster.
Yep, I would have cried anyway. But I just anyway. This is a great movie. So Nick, great
8.5.
true story. 8.5. Okay. Like I
I'm a
can't
sucker for a Marky
really.
Mark.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I love Mark Wahlberg as well, my friend. Like I like a lot of things he does. Is he picks a lot of interesting roles. Comical ones, serious ones, real dramas. He's kind of like a mixed bag as what is he gonna play next kind of guy. And this one was a surprise to me because I literally, Nick, honesty, full transparency to you, the audience, I only watched this because you told me to check it out and because you made it available. Sadly, I'm not trying to sound like I'm a cheap ass, but he did make it available, so it's super easy to not try. Super easy, really hard to not try. Sorry, that's the right phrasing. Really hard to not check it out because it's like, here's a free movie that I think you might like, and it's emotional and good. Check it out, sir. And that's what I did, friends. So I checked it out, and I can't give it a lower or higher rating because it's one of those things where I don't know. I might, and I didn't. I went into it not knowing anything. Like no one spoiled it, but I gotta give it kind of the same rating. I'm gonna give it just I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10 myself. Um, I should probably give it an 8.5 because I cried, and I only say that not because of outside forces influencing, although there were. If a movie can make like literally pull me in emotionally, I have to give it extra points because it did that. I don't Guys, there's cringy writing. There's things that don't deserve it, which we may or may not be talking about next here in a few seconds. But but I'm gonna say I was emotional for this one, and it was honest and legitimate. So I think me and Nick are gonna rest on. I think I need to rest on the 8.5 with him on this one. But it's definitely worth checking out if you guys like either true stories because they're honestly and often emotionally tumultuous, or you like just a good-hearted adventure story with a lot of heart. This one has that. Are we about to talk about the next entry, sir? Are we ready to move on to that? Is that what's going on? We doing that?
I'm ready.
We ready? We ready? All right. I have happy. I have good and bad. I have a lot of feelings about this entry. So, guys, we're going to talk about Madam Web. Nicholas, if you've got the stats,
Yeah, I got it
who
right here.
released it, when it was released, and who's involved, I will throw it over to you, sir. Madam Web.
You know what? I'll give you the IMDb description of the movie.
Oh God, here we go. Oh, that's a mistake. Okay, go aheid. Describe it,
Sandra,
sir. Sorry.
I got a pretty big thing here.
Sorry. It's okay, dude. Sorry. Go ahead and describe it.
In a switch from the typical genre, Madam Web tells the standalone origin story of one Marvel Publishing's most enigmatic heroines. The suspense-driven thriller stars Dakota Johnson as Cassandra Webb, a paramedic in Manhattan who develops the power to see the future and realizes she can use it to that insight to change it. Forced to confront revelations about her past, she forges a relationship with three young women bound for powerful destinies if they all can survive the deadly present. This movie is made by Sony Pictures, following along in the Spiderverse, like he said.
Yep.
It is directed by S.J. Clarkson, which is mostly known for here and there directing series episodes for like The Defenders, Jessica Jones,
side stuff in the Marvelverse. Nice.
Yeah. Life on Mars, different things like that. Okay. The crew also includes Dakota Johnson. Most people know her from Shades of Grey.
Oh shit! What? Hold on. Sorry, dude. I've seen those movies and I did not realize that. I did not. Oh my God, that's just my ignorance. I did not realize that was
she
her.
was Anastasia from 50 Shades of Grey.
Dakota Johnson, guys. Yeah, sorry. I've seen those. Shame on me. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't realize or make the connection. Go on, Nick. Sorry. Damn. Yeah, Dakota Johnson, 50 Shades of Grey. What?
We also have Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria,
The White Lotus, The Handmaid's Tale,
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, she's secondary role
Tale, yep.
typically. Yeah.
Yep. We also have Isabella Merced.
Mm-hmm.
She
was in the Last Night Transformers.
Yep.
Dora the Explorer, City of What the Hell? Is that a real movie or is that a parody?
Oh, no, it's a movie.
What? Oh, she was in The Last of Us as Dinah, I guess. My God. Okay. Yep. And secondary roles prior to that. And they're all pretty young, but
and a lot of voice acting and stuff like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
We also have Celeste O'Connor. She is known for the new Ghostbusters.
Afterlife, the good one, the good, like what fans have applauded as the next best step in Ghostbusters 2021. She's in she's in the sequel. Sorry, so she's in the last two Ghostbusters films. What were you saying, Nick?
Mike Epps.
Yeah, Mike Epps. Resident Evil Apocalypse, Friday for Next, The Hangover. He's kind of been a very secondary role. He's been in a lot of Resident Evil films. I do recognize him because I have recently watched a lot of those Resident Evil films. But hey,
and then the last person I need to bring up is Tahar Rahim.
Okay, who's he? I can split out. Go ahead, sorry, Nick.
Yeah, no, he came from the movie Napoleon, Don Juan.
Yeah, the like key side note, key villain here in the show. Yes.
Yep, that's why I wanted to list him.
Yep, no, I'm sorry, dude. Yeah. He plays a lot of secondary villains or secondary roles, and it ends up being a villain. Yeah.
And while I'm at it, might as well list one of the writers, Matt Sazama, who wrote who is a writer on Morpheus, the new Lost in Space TV series, stuff like that. But I needed to bring up the fact that he was a writer here because when we go more in depth into
it'll
it
matter
needs to be
regarding like
addressed.
the comparisons, the adaptation aspect, right?
Yes.
Okay, so since we are getting a little gritty into this show, okay, we got the casting, the writer, director. You told me as much as the premise already, right?
Yeah.
Okay. My brief thought is, do you want to at all right now? Do you want to just address the show as it is, or would you like to maybe preface going into that by how does the comic book universe address the character Madam Web,
Yeah. No.
Cassandra Webb? What's
Let's
her
talk about what
origin?
she
And then
is. Yeah.
let's do the origin of the comic, and then let's dive into the show and how they portrayed that.
Yeah. So, best way I could describe Madam Web. She is.
If I may interject as a noob, I've always thought she was a Spider Woman character in the Spiderverse, like related, like in the world of Peter Parker's Spider-Man. And the only thing I ever knew about her is that she could see, like she was like a Charles Xavier type in the Spider-Verse, where she could see aspects of the future, and that she would help guide people by knowing the future. And that's the only thing I knew as a complete uneducated comic book nerd.
Yeah, she's kind of akin to what the Ancient One would be to Doctor Strange, where she kind of knows everything, has the knowledge of things.
The connections.
She is connected to the web of life, and is by there connected to all the spiders and all the verses. She has
irony here is her last name is Webb.
Yeah. Telepathy, like clairvoyance, prescience, and in comic books, a lot of times she can astral project herself in like a spirit form to people.
Yeah, I didn't know that going into this show, so the later half of this show is very interesting for me as someone who's not knowledgeable. So I want to be spoiler free, Nick, on this time. But hey, if you feel like you want to go spoiler, let me know. I'll throw up the teaser. So I want to get like a spoiler free take on the review of this show, and then if you feel like you want to dive in deeper, or we can wait later. But I went in as a complete novice, and I know where you're going with this. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
So, do you want me to give my hot take on it before you or after?
So where do we? Well, you were giving us a little TLDR. You were giving us a little bit of knowledge.
Yeah.
Where do we break off from that? I guess
I just gave the knowledge, and then we just kind of like, okay, we kind of got the background information now. We have an idea of what the story is, who the character's supposed to be, and where it lands in here. We got some backstory, what it is.
Okay. Because it's super fresh. I do have a lot of reviewer comments to say, so we'll do that, and then you can come back at me and see how you felt. All right, guys. So what we're gonna do, because we don't typically do this very often, where I watch something that I have no experience with, and then my boy here, Nick, has plenty of comic book history and went into this, right? And that's why I got Nick on a leash here. Kidding. This is why we're best friends. He fills me and he enriches my knowledge. That's why we keep him around. He enriches my knowledge. Okay, I want to leave it at that. But I'm gonna go in here and tell you how I felt about the overall film in general, as someone who kind of had little to no knowledge. about the character. It's that this film was not entirely the dumpster fire that I thought it was going to be. But unfortunately, because of social media, outside opinions, I kind of went into it thinking, here's another dumpster fire. And that's unfortunately what happened to Morbius. R.I.P. Jared Leto. Sorry, kidding. He's not dead. He's very widely successful. But
I loved Morbius.
Okay, we're gonna have an outside conversation about that shortly, Nick. I promise you. But I'm kind of speaking from an outside perspective of the fact that there were things that I saw and understood as being like, okay, here's why everyone hates this, here's why everyone hates that. And I was trying so hard to not think that way. I was just trying to enjoy the story. So, like, I know people are passionate about this. I know people hate this. Shit, where do I land? So I watched this. And despite the shortcomings, I kept finding myself, and I'm sorry, let me cut this out, but Nick, I watched this 100% sober. 100% sober during the day, full conscious. Okay? So this is my honest.
Through it?
No, stop. You. Like, I know you're making a joke. Hopefully not. Maybe.
I meant the movie.
That's what I'm getting at. So to everyone listening, I'm like, I watched this with a clean conscience, and there were things that pulled me in, things that made me love it, things that brought me in emotionally. There were parts where I was like, I see where they're going with this, and I'm like, why didn't you have better writers? That's something I'll never not say. Where are the Russo brothers for Avengers? Like, Hollywood's not going to get those type of amazing writers every single time. That being said, the movie captured me in moments I didn't expect, and the disappointing part of it all, I guess, is that I know that if a better writer, or even, sorry, God forbid, Disney had full control of this, or Kevin Feige, who runs Marvel Studios, I feel like this would probably have turned into something completely better. But despite the unfortunate aspect that this wasn't made by someone with gold fingers, and despite all the horrific ratings and the low ratings of this whole thing, there were a large number of parts of this film that captured me emotionally. And I could see myself wishing better for this thing. So that's where I land on this whole thing, is that it was a really fun ride that missed so many points. So many points that an amazing film would have hit. And it's nothing against the actors. It's not even anything against the director himself, especially if the director was forced to use a script he didn't agree with. That's kind of where we land when we're talking about the industry of Hollywood. It's like, you might love a director in several things he did in the past, and then if huge ass Hollywood corporate is telling him, hey, this is the script we want, this is the direction we want, sometimes if the director wants to save face and not be drug under the some directors will walk away. We know this. We've talked in pop culture news many times about directors that walk away because the material the corporation wants them to make ain't great. And sometimes people pull through and do better. It's a hard industry to work in, but end of story. Where I land on this is I had fun. It was a fun ride coming into it knowing nothing about Madam Web. I enjoyed the action. And I will summarize by saying, Nick, there was two or three, truly, sir, two or three cringy lines. And I tried to pretend that I didn't know better, and I was trying to come at it from a complete obscure. I'm just a stranger watching this show, and then you listen to the line, and you're like, "Oh my god, I don't have any experience as a director or writer, but holy, I wouldn't sell that to my kids in a nursery rhyme. What are you doing?" There were 2 or 3 cringe moments, and we could go in at some point on a personal level outside of this cast, Nick. But knowing how I feel, and I know that you are at least probably close to similar on a lot of things. I know you didn't ignore everything. I know you didn't miss the cringe and moments. I know you didn't miss those. I know you're not oblivious to what was good or what was bad about it all. But this is where the fun turning point is for this review. Is I'm kind of going to pass it off to you and either be completely surprised or surprisingly agreeable with where you land. I didn't give it a rating yet, but if I was to give it a rating, I'm gonna give it 2 ratings. I'm gonna throw the tables off the table, sir. I'm gonna knock down all the cards here for a second. I'm gonna tell you why I'm giving it 2 ratings. My first rating right here, right now, is an emotional rating. Did I enjoy my ride despite the flaws? And we don't usually do this on the channel, and if nerds out there need a finalizing score, you and me will come up with one. But did I enjoy the ride? Did I have fun? Did it make me cry at moments? Yes. And so because of that, I'm going to give this, I've cried harder at other things. I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10 for a hardcore invested nerd that just let the wings fly and removed judgmentality, if that's a phrase. I removed the idea of judging it based on shitty writing. So, what was my end result ride? It was 8. Did I say 8.5? 8.5, sure. Okay, now from a critical standpoint, holy god. The critical standpoint, it's still better than I think anyone else ever gave it. I would have to drop it down to a 6, but it's a 6 out of 10 from a critical, unexperienced. I don't know the mythology. I don't know the comics. I just know this Hollywood trying to turn out another property, and it's Sony, and it's a Spiderverse, which has nothing to fucking do with the Spiderverse. It takes place in 2003. I applaud the content continuity people. You got a lot of wonderful pop culture things accurate for 2003. Good old Britney Spears and Toxic and a few other things you peppered in there. Good try. But for trying to win us over from like the harshest of skeptics, my personal opinion is a 6 out of 10, and that's better than anyone else is giving it. But fandom, emotional, did it make me feel something? 8.5. So you give it a 7 if you want to do an average there. But like Nick, I want to hear your thoughts. And it's fine if this is a movie only review because I went super long. I'm very sorry. Okay. But I want to hear you. And while you're talking, this is going to be the best time ever that I play the trailer, which I hadn't done this whole time.
This movie was an amazing pile of crap. It was almost unwatchable to me.
Shit.
You could tell the actors. No, better yet, it's not a matter of you could tell. Dakota Johnson even came out afterwards. She's like, I don't know why I was in this. This doesn't fit anything that my kind of acting style. It doesn't fit anything. I don't know why they wanted me to play in this. You could tell in her acting, she didn't want to be there. She was phoning it in the entire time. The writing was abysmal. The continuity of the whole entire movie fell apart at every scene that you could possibly find. their own in story, like their reality didn't fit from one scene to the next. And sorry, there's going to be a spoiler here. In one scene, you see him get hit by a car or a bus.
Nicholas, pause. I'm kidding. Well, okay, hold on. I just hold on one second. I will never do this any other time, but like I'm deeply appreciating your raw perspective, and I hope you're being serious. Yes.
Oh, as a heart attack.
Okay. That being said, I'm sorry, dude. Like I am too, but I also am totally open with coming up alongside you and analyzing the points you're making. But I feel like if we do that, I do need to hit for our audience a spoiler warning, which I do have available here now.
Please go ahead and continue the spoiler warning.
Are you Hey, how about we tease them by you giving me a raw, unadulterated, random score that has no context, and then we'll be like, "Hey guys, I'm sorry if you want to hear more. Here's a spoiler warning." I want the rating, Nick.
Okay, before I go any farther and do anything, I've already told you that I thought it was abysmal. The writing was awful. It was,
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
A handbag full of shit grenades. I would rate this. The highest I could possibly rate this is a 2. And the only redeeming fact for that to be able to get a 2 was the music score, and the sound behind it was phenomenal and on point. There were points that were redeemed by the music and sound and the way they panned it, the way they did things alone, because it gave you goosebumps, even though you're like, what is going on? Did that really just happen? What? Who? When? Where? Where did they pull that out of? What? The music saved it to a 2 at least. The music and the sound. The sound people should get an Emmy for the work they did on this to try to carry the weight of the entire movie on their back. The writers should put down a pen, and if they ever decide to pick one up, they should snap it in half and say, "No, I don't want to do that to any other property ever again." The director should hang up her hat and stop directing. The actors, they were given a script. They were doing what they were told.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I know.
But my God, people, there are talented things and there are stories that need to be told. Madam Web would have been a cool, mysterious story that someone could have told and done well. But then you hand us this. Yes.
No,
you want to hear more, though?
No, hey,
there's spoilers coming up.
Hold on.
Warning. Spoiler alert. Warning. Spoiler alert. You have been warned.
You appreciate my Fallout relevance in that spoiler warning. Okay, guys. Well, here it is. It's in the tags. It's in the last personal verbal warning. You got it. You got the timestamps in the description, and right now, me and Nick are saying, hey, if you're still here and you haven't clicked past or clicked in any of the timestamps to move past this point, me and Nick are unequivocally saying, fuck you. You want to be a nerd? Join us. But welcome to anyone that cares. Okay. Nicholas, floor is wide fucking open, and with spoiler warnings, I allow all sorts of explicatives because I don't care. I'm not censoring any of this. It's a full spoiler warning. You're an hour into the podcast. If you're here, you meant to be here. Hopefully you're not a kid or child. Nicholas, I have to tell you real quick.
Yes.
I'm not entirely surprised, but I am slightly surprised about how passionately upset you are. So I want to give you the floor for the next 5-10 plus minutes, however long you feel you need, to tell me why you feel this bad about it.
Well, like I said, it has to do with
And to spice up your upset, I'm gonna pepper this in right here. Okay, you ready? Boom. I'm gonna play this on the side. Gonna watch it while you talk about how spicy you didn't like it. Okay. Let's go. Okay. I don't know where
it's
that.
going to get
Damn it.
demonetized.
I lost it. Hold on, let me hit play. There, boom. Go ahead. It's the trailer. Talk about how spicy upset you are about this damn.
Yeah. No. You, like I said, I can deal with people making adaptations of comic book properties.
Make sure you
I
talk
am
right to
okay
your
with
mic, sir. I can hear
I'm
you still.
okay with people making changes that need to be changed. I'm okay with all that. I'm okay with a little bit of shenanigans in favor of making it work for a movie. But it's got to work as a whole. And if you build a world and you make rules for that world and make stuff that's supposed to have consistency behind it, you have to stick to it. If you don't, you might as well throw it out the window. Like I'm saying, in one scene, you see him get hit by a damn vehicle. And he shrugs it off like that was nothing. And he dies from a small piece of a sign landing on him.
Might have been a really big sign, Nick. I mean, we don't know.
He got hit with an ambulance.
Oh, that too. Who's to say the ambulance was made of carbon fiber?
I'm just saying they didn't stick with what they're doing, and it was so miscombobulated and all over the place. I know it could have been because they're like, oh, it may have been that way because of her way of seeing into different timelines, seeing futures, seeing all these things. No, it was actually within the story itself that this stupidity is happening. It's if they would have just stuck with the premise and actually tried to go along with it instead of fight their own premise the entire time, it would have been acceptable. I like the fact that they talked about the Spider Girl, Spider Woman, and all those. The characters that were there that she was trying to save.
Yeah.
The reason why they made this movie, if something good comes out of it and they go farther on those characters, this could be redeemed. Not the movie. There's nothing redeeming this movie. This cannot be redeemed. Send it out on its funeral pyre and catch it on fire now. But some of the characters from it, if they can actually learn from the mistakes here and make a movie off the characters who they're supposed to be, it could be something.
Man, that just makes me feel bad for not the younger ones, because you could definitely remarket, pull them into a future, but it makes me feel sad for Dakota Johnson.
Oh, she said she'll never do a superhero movie again. And I don't blame her for this.
No, I don't either after hearing all that. No, I know. I mean, we both feel, oh God, that fucking sucks. That's what we're both feeling about it. But we also don't blame her for being like, yeah, I'm never, I don't want to attach myself
like
that.
Madam Web could be a good plot device in the Sony Spiderverse, but they destroyed it so much they're not going to want to touch it again. This could be a way that Peter Parker is able to actually get back in touch with the people he loves. You go back to his own reality. Madam Web can make that happen.
Yeah, next I know while we're talking about like that actual like existential like in the moment aspect of their abilities and what they could have done. Yeah, dude. You
know what? I want to hear the lines you thought were cringy.
Oh God, really? Okay. Yeah, that would be fun. I wish I'd wrote them down. There's one particular specific one that was like I heard it and I was like,
Hope the spiders were with it, Mom.
no, that's bad. But it was something from the girls, the teenage girls that she's protecting and watching over. And it was like the first night they hung out in a hotel, and the next morning she was showing them chest compressions and how to do CPR. And like aside from that itself being entirely cringy and unnecessary, the line that like hit me the most, that I was like, why? Um, I think it was like after the cardiac arrest CPR training that she very briefly gave. She's just very, and mind you, this character is a sassy, I don't care about anyone but myself attitude. So she's playing that hard to get, I don't care about you teenager. And so then, when out of complete zero context, she says, hey, to Dakota Johnson, she says, hey, I've never said this before, but you're a really good teacher. Do you remember that line? Do you remember that fucking stupid line?
Mhm.
You remember how you felt when you heard it and you're like, it made you want to bite your teeth and go, that wasn't earned. What? Yes, it was like a montage they completely skipped. It's like, oh, she's been training them for weeks. She's been their sensei. She's been going through grueling activities of learning to become an adept at whatever it is. And then when, they have a sweet, tender moment from a campfire outside in the wilderness, and then she says, never said this before. Thank you. I always thought you were a good teacher. What? This is the first time Dakota Johnson is sitting down and teaching any of these fucking invalids who are 26 years old and have been cast in this movie to play as teenagers. Are you fucking kidding me? This was a part, dude, that I literally like gagged on my choking gasp and stayed quiet and was like, I know this movie's full of shitty writing. I'm just like Nick. I'm just like, and this is something I appreciate about you. It's not a flaw, Nick. You try to find the joy, purity, and entertainment, and even the worst shit, and that's truly, truly an admiration, not a flaw. So when you come at me and tell me that this is the shittiest movie you've ever seen, hands down, and we haven't even gotten into it, I'm like, holy fuck. Nick was my sensei. I was trying to I was trying to go into this with a Nick mindset. That's no flaw. That's not a shame. No. Nick tries to look at the hard parts and he tries to compare it to things he is passionate about. And maybe I'm not getting it. If he likes this, if he really loves this thing, I must be missing. Would you like to address concluding thoughts of how I felt like you mislead me, but then to finally hear that you hated everything about this, I'm like, oh shit! I tried to have
the music was good.
I tried to be like, no, Nick gives a lot of things, a lot of chances. So do I. What the fuck am I saying?
I watched it 3 times to give it a chance.
I didn't have to do that. Why?
I watched
it
3 times to see if I missed something, if I didn't have the right context. But usually when you do that, you pick things up you missed and it gets better. It progressively got worse.
Oh shit. No, dude. I hope someday our listeners, I hope they pick up on that. Like if they follow us consistently, I hope they know that the Nick on this show, when I want to know that when he is upset or hates something, it's because he threw his whole fucking life away to review this shit. Okay? Like that's the context. I'm serious. That's the context I want. I know when I ask you about an opinion, hmm, I don't question it because I wonder if you understand what you're saying. I question it because I'm like, okay, are you sure you want to share this with the public? Because you're usually thorough. I just need to know if you were thorough. And you know what? Nick didn't tell me that till just now. So who
No,
was I to question that?
you haven't heard a review this this brutal since Teen Titans.
Oh, are we going back to season 1 or 2?
Season 1. Season 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You were one of those seasons. You were very concerned on a
Their
hyper
hot
level.
topic washout bullshit that was going on there. I was
Was
like,
it
what the
2 or
hell's
1?
going?
I can go
It
back
was the
because I
first
know.
season.
I was
It
like,
was
I
the
know.
first season.
Okay. I know because I told you. I'm like, dude. I know. I get it. Like at some point, I got through season 2 or something, or I started season 2. I'm like, hey, dude,
But I
seriously,
promised you I'd
come
watch it
back.
and I'd give it a chance. So I watched it and I hated it. But
You
I
always do.
got to the
I know.
second season and it got better. And I'm like, okay, they're
You're
catching
like,
their stride. They're
maybe.
doing their thing. They
Okay.
got it. But
That's
no,
what. That's what.
this
That's what I
this
want.
won't catch its stride. This won't get better. This is a dumpster
Man.
fire
Mm.
outside behind Taco Bell.
Nicholas, this is the first time I think me or anyone that listens to this after the post, I think this would be probably the most honest, brutal, craziest review we've ever done on a personal level. And I hope that anyone new and anyone old sticks around because we're going to bring more. We're going to bring more of this kind of visceral interaction. We enjoy pop culture. Guys, that's like what me and Nick have felt over the years. Is just like, we tried doing this thing for 4+ years in a row. We had a couple hiatuses where we walked away from it, and we're trying to come back to do the classic thing we love, which is bring friends in, talk about the stuff we love. And so the thing I wanted to invite everyone to do, you can still hit us up on the X platform / Twitter, hit a DM directly at Nerdentials. But I also want to encourage all of you guys, hit me up at nerdentials@gmail.com. Hit all of us up at the one email. I would love, I think me and Nick and anyone else we bring on over the coming months, weeks and months, is that we want to continue doing this. Me and Nick started this with Matt, one of our oldest hosts. We started this thing wanting to be a group of nerds nerding out on our favorite stuff. Guys, we're on all platforms. Nerdentials, just look up Nerdentials, Google Nerdentials. We're everywhere still right now. We're on all social medias. And I just want to continue the conversation. One of the first things I want to see from you guys out there is just either send us emails, tweet at us, DM us, leave comments on Instagram, YouTube, on the website itself, nerdentials.com, anywhere, guys. Just leave comments anywhere with how you felt about the movie or show or game we're going to talk about. Leave us your favorites for the year. And guys, we'll get more specific as the weeks go on. We'll find more specific topics to challenge you guys out there to check us out on. And in the future, we do want to live stream. We still want to work towards that. Trying to figure it out. We're all dads. We all here, at least at Nerdentials, we all have kids, and so streaming is not the easiest thing to do. But we are actively looking at any comments you guys want to leave. So. And Nicholas, I thank you so much for joining me on the movie topics. I think this is one of the first weeks where I've watched almost everything you watched. Like, I was almost able to at least carry a full conversation on the same films. And guys, I want to leave a little teaser as we close out. Me and Nick have watched a lot of similar streaming television shows. I want to hit this and also call the action to Matthew Johnson. I'm going to tag him on this and timestamp him. I want him to see the end of this. Mr. Matthew, I hope you can join us in the next week or two for TV Talk, because I would love for all of us to hit up the Halo conversation, how we feel about it. And definitely we can't pass up Fallout, the TV show Fallout. And there's a few other shows that all of us have been looking into and will talk about in the future. Same with gaming. Me and Nick will be hitting some newsworthy gaming topics very soon. But guys, if you want deeper thoughts, leave comments down below, leave a like. Please hit subscribe to our channel. Keep up to date with walkthroughs, playthroughs, first looks, and podcasts. And guys, we'll get around to sharing all those links as the time goes forward. Don't forget, we are currently live wherever podcasts are found. So if you're in the middle of driving and want to hear the audio only, it's there. Guys, thanks for watching. Nicholas, for myself, you, the Unforsaken Sad, Ryan and Matthew, that are current hosts, not currently active. We will seek them out and bring them back. For all our friends here, there, and not here, thank you for watching. As always, our nerdy nerds, we will see you
on the other side.